After an unbelievable start this season for the Philadelphia Phillies starting rotation, we've hit a bit of a bumpy road the last few days. I'm going to get into all of what's going on, the roster move that happened on Friday, the start that happened on Friday, and a name that is probably sliding back into the rotation sooner rather than later. I am going to get into all of that today here on the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Really quick before we start, I want to wish everybody happy 4th of July. I hope everybody has a safe, fun weekend celebrating whatever you barbecue, parades, beach, whatever you guys do that are watching. Happy 4th of July. I hope you're enjoying your holiday weekend, hopefully off of work, off of school, whatever you guys have going on. So happy 4th of July. On that note, on the 4th of July, Jesus Luzardo got rocked. It's about as simple as that. Phillies obviously kicked off a 3-game series yesterday against the Cincinnati Reds, and things did not go great for Jesus Luzardo. It was a rough outing. 2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 4 Ks, 3 walks. He could not make it through the 3rd inning. The 3rd inning was the rough one for Luzardo. He basically so he did not record an out. The 3rd inning started a bunt single, a walk, an RBI single, an RBI double, an RBI double, and a single. And that took Jesus Luzardo out of the game yesterday. And, it's been a bit of a bumpy road here for Jesus Luzardo. Obviously got off to the unbelievable start. I mean, this guy looked like a Cy Young candidate early in the season. It's honestly, it almost right now has a big feel to it like the Ranger situation did last year. Obviously, I don't think Luzardo's hurt right now like Ranger was last year, but it has a very Ranger-ish feel. Dominant start, first half, and just can't really find it right now. What I will say is that the biggest thing right now is the splits for Jesus Luzardo. This is from Matt Gelb here of The Athletic. The Phillies are a 500 team, blah, 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 since June 1st, and that's even with the 2 out of 8 from the rotation. Since Luzardo adjusted his mechanics from the stretch after the June 5th start in Toronto when he was tipping pitches, he's seen a drastic gap in his performance. This is since June 5th when he was tipping his pitches from his next start on. No runners on base, 226, 294, 242, 6 walks, 23 strikeouts. Runners on base, 423, 492, 692, 7 walks, 11 strikeouts. That's good for an OPS over 1150. It is no surprise right now that he is getting absolutely smoked. Ever since the tipping, telling, whatever blip, Jesus Luzardo has averaged close to 20 pitches per inning, and that's really been his big issue right now. He's getting deep into counts, and it almost seems like he's not looking to strike guys out. It seems like he's just looking to get out of the at-bat. He's running into a ton of deep counts, which is running his pitch count up. He'll have one more start before the All-Star break, and then the Phillies can, sort of pat it back. They'll probably reset the rotation after the All-Star break, so Jesus Luzardo goes last. But speaking of, sort of the other situation that's going on with the Phillies, prior to yesterday's game, the Phillies recalled Seth Johnson from Lehigh Valley. Seth Johnson obviously looked really good in the bullpen during the doubleheader. He hit 98.7 at one point. The Phillies definitely want to see what Seth Johnson can do for them for now. So he will be up in the bullpen with the Phillies. To make room on the 26-man roster, right-handed pitcher Mick Abel was optioned to AAA Lehigh Valley. So Abel won't make another start at least before the All-Star break. And, it's starting to set up that Mick Abel's going to have to earn, getting back into this rotation. Because right now, the Phillies obviously have the big 3 right now: Zack Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, and Ranger Suarez. Aaron Nola, while he's not coming back yet, Aaron Nola will probably be back in the middle of August. Jesus Luzardo, although it's not going well, he's not leaving the rotation. And then you have Andrew Painter, who the Phillies continue to say his timeline is pretty close to after the All-Star break. So that, there's a chance we could see Andrew Painter up here in a few weeks, and that leaves you 5 starters: Wheeler, Sanchez, Ranger, Luzardo, Painter. Is there a spot for Mick Abel after the All-Star break? I don't know. I don't know how fast they plan on bringing Andrew Painter up. It seems like it's going to be pretty quick. after the All-Star break. But Mick Abel, after getting roughed up again, it seems like we've already seen the best of Abel. Hitters have a blueprint on him now. He's not some flame-throwing guy. He has the good stuff. The curveball's really good, but he just hasn't been landing it recently. So Taijuan Walker will start on Tuesday in San Francisco. That is sort of the move there. They'll probably mix a bullpen game in out in San Diego maybe or something like that. But no more starts for Mick Abel before the All-Star break. Speaking of the All-Star break, the winners, or not the winners, the players selected should be announced, I believe, tomorrow night, which would be Sunday, July 6th. Expecting Wheeler, obviously, to make it, could potentially start the game. I think one of Sanchez or Ranger will probably make it. They may give the edge to Sanchez just because he's a qualified pitcher this year. I expect Trey Turner to make it as a reserve. He's obviously had a really nice year. I think he should have started the game over Francisco Lindor, but that's neither here nor there. I think Kyle Schwarber's going to make it. Unfortunately, Rafael Devers being traded to the Giants kind of screwed Kyle Schwarber in the All-Star game. Being able to be a finalist. Schwarber would have been a finalist if Devers never got traded to the NL, but that's how this stuff works. But obviously, this is the ebbs and flows, part of the season. The starting rotation wasn't going to be 5-man deep great all year. They're going to run into some things. Obviously, like we saw with Aaron Nola, nobody expected Mick Abel to come up and even start a few games like he did at some point. Abel gave some Phillies some really good starts, and hey, he could completely earn it back. But at least for right now, that will not be the case. And just as far as Luzardo, this just seems like an obvious mechanics thing. The Phillies are going to really have to dive into this. I would love for Luzardo not to have to make a start for the rest of before the All-Star break, but he will probably have to make one. But as far as today's game, Saturday, July 5th, once again, happy a little late 4th of July to everybody out there. Ranger Suarez on the mound for the Phillies, 4:05 start down at Citizens Bank Park. Nick Lodolo for the Cincinnati Reds. I'll be down there today. If you see me, come say hi. But I want to know your thoughts. How do you feel about the Phillies rotation? Because right now, top three, fantastic. Unbelievably fantastic. Zack Wheeler, Christopher Sanchez, Ranger Suarez. But I'm starting to get, a little shaky on Jesus Luzardo. It's just he's going to have to find it because, the guy we saw yesterday can't go out and cannot start a playoff game. I think that's pretty obvious. Hopefully Mick Abel turns it around. Hopefully Jesus Luzardo turns it around. I have full confidence in Caleb Cotham and the Phillies staff to get these guys back to where we know they can be. But this has been the newest episode of Phillies Digest. Really quick, if you guys have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. This has been the newest episode, once again, of Phillies Digest. My name is Luke Arcaini, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.